topic of my talk today is something to do with the gut and linking it with the very serious problem, which is stunting. And that is too with the under prevalent trailing stress conditions, specifically the diarrhea. So if we look at the statistics of Pakistan, now what sort of a conundrum we are facing here? Now, there was a recent tweet from government that about 44% of children are victim of stunting, and the government is trying making every effort through the better nutritional control, better nutrition to control this problem. But there is one more challenge which has not been dealt in or neglected to some way, that is the diarrheal diseases or the microbes, which are basically a hurdle in terms of materializing this challenge to deal with. So I'll be more focusing on than diarrheal diseases in particular, but before that, let's have a look at the statistics. Now, we are a country of over 200 million people, and out of which 118 million people belong to a low-income socio-economic group, and that is basically includes a vibrant youth which basically can transform the nation if they can be utilized as their strength, being a vibrant and skillful youth, or they can become a weakness of a country if they are weak or growing with this conundrum of stunting. So if you look at the statistic of Pakistan, Pakistan is ranked number 1 in terms of a stunted growth, with 44% of children growing with this disease. And that translates about 16 million children, which is about 10% of the global population, which is basically affected by this disease. So it's a huge number. And on top of that, Pakistan is also ranked as number 2 country in terms of out-of-school children. And if you see these statistics combined together, are we able to basically transform this country as a knowledge-based economy? So there's a serious question on that. So are we going to suffer some sort of an intellectual disaster if this problem is not going to dealt on a priority basis? So what is stunting basically? Let's now understand the stunting. Stunting we commonly understood as a problem which is associated with the malnourishment. But the other factor which I'm going to talk about more, the environmental stresses, including the diarrheal diseases, has not been taken into account in our policy these days. So it results to basically the overall impact of these two factors is basically not allowing the children to grow to the full physical potential as well as full mental potential. So it impairs cognitive skills of the children as well as their physical growth. So that's what I'm going to talk about. So this is how the stunted growth children look like. They do not gain a full weight and full length compared to the normal children. Now, if you look at what does normal growth basically mean, so there are 3 parameters or conditions which needs to be met in order to grow to the normal potential. And what are those 3 pillars? Number 1 is obviously a balanced diet with all full of micronutrients and macronutrients, and the children are not exposed frequently to the diarrheal infections or diseases. Or there are a couple of other infections such as respiratory infections that can also play a role, but mainly the diarrheal diseases play a critical role in there. So collectively they constitute a good gut health, and then it allows children to grow to full potential. So how basically now there are 2 issues, as I mentioned, the physical impairment and the cognitive impairment. And this process basically starts right from the pregnancy. So there comes another first player, that's the mothers. And as it started in utero, and there are a number of factors which and it continues through generations. So this is a vicious cycle. So as in the utero, that there are 3 main factors which play a role, because the mother at the pregnancy time are less, they're more anemic, as well as they are basically also malnourished. And the third factor is that they are also subjected to different environmental stresses, including the infectious diseases, because of an occupational hazard. In many low-income settings, these mothers are also involved in rearing small business such as poultry or livestock. They are always involved in that. And the poultry and livestock, dealing with the cow dung, at the same time dealing with their babies and children, taking care of them, that introduces these diarrheal pathogens into the gut of those microbes, the gut of those vulnerable children population in early ages of their life, which is about 36 months. That's the critical period when these children basically are required to give a clean environment as well as a balanced diet. So that is a time which basically determines what is going to be the future of these children. So if you look at the normal gut, it's comprised of stomach, small intestine, and large intestine. The small intestine in the normal circumstances contains a number of these tiny creatures which play a significant role in absorbing the diet. So if that area or that region is disturbed due to these diarrheal infections, that compromise their activity, and if that happens, that 10 to 15% meal they receive passes out of their digestive system being unused. So that basically impairs their physical growth, growing them to the full potential. So that basically also the other thing is the cognitive impairment. So there is a link between brain and gut. So this is the gut and brain axis. So one thing which I have just mentioned, that once these diarrheal diseases or pathogens enter into the gut, they causes inflammation, reduces the absorptive capacity of the gut tissue, the gut intestinal epithelium. So that's why the nutrients are not properly absorbed. The other thing is that they also causes the inflammation of the important part of the brain, hippocampus, which has the potential to store memory and the learning tasks. So these two areas which impair the physical growth as well as that leads to the cognitive impairment, constitutively leads to the condition called stunting. So it also has consequences in the later age of life as well. These people are more subjected to, when they grow up, to the cardiovascular diseases and many metabolic syndromes such as stresses, autism. So that can lead, that's how the gut flora or gut microbes are affected by these diarrheal diseases. Now, once we understand this problem, now the main thing, some of the studies have shown that the children which suffer the frequently diarrheal diseases can lose the IQ level to the highest level, which is the 10 points in 1 of 5 children which suffer that. So with these facts, they can even, the impacts are so severe that they are the double than the diarrhea alone. So stunting can have an impact double than the diarrhea in terms of losing productive years of life. Performance of children are compromised. There's the issue with the age to grade. So they enter into the school system quite late, and some of them are drop out because of these poor skills of understanding the content of the education material which they are basically given. So if you look at the overall provincial statistics, they are quite miserable. So this is widespread phenomena, and you can also see that we have a 32% from Islamabad. And how many of you think we may have governed by such individuals? So this is something which we need to be worried. So the nations, such as the African nations, have been able to cope with this problem gradually by reducing the stunting 1 to 2% every year by adopting certain strategies, such as maternity care, primary health care, and improving the nutritional status, supplementing with such as zinc, vitamin A, K, D, and giving them the better immunization, as well as improving the sanitation hygiene condition in order to improve the overall gut health situation. So that helped a lot. And in some of the country like Ecuador has been able to bring it down to the 47% by giving them 1 egg to the children for 6 to 9 months in early age time, provided that they do not have those kind of environmental stresses which many of the developing countries like in Africa and South Asia are facing. So South Asia is leading in that area in terms of stunted growth. So there are a number of interventions which have been adopted by these countries, such as WASH program, which is giving them the disinfectant to the children, hygiene and sanitation conditions are improved, giving them the probiotics, proper vaccination, giving the maternal and paternal education, giving them the better breastfeeding in early time and for 2-3 years, and then food handling as well as the consumer awareness, which is non-existent in Pakistan. I'll show you how the consumer awareness comes into play in this area. So our studies, what we have done in the past, I've been frequently involved in the diarrheal studies for past 15 years. So what we have determined that these are the major sources through which these diarrheal pathogens enter into the human chain, and mostly the vulnerable population of children. So this poultry is the top candidate in that, and that is because of unplanned expansion of a poultry and livestock operation within the middle of the population. And apart from that, there's an unplanned urbanization going on at the same time as well. So leading to making it much easier for these diarrheal pathogens to enter into the human chain. And apart from that, we have old sewage pipelines, and those sewage water is being used in irrigating the vegetables, and somehow these things basically are so complex and gets into the environment. And as I said, there's a behavioral changes as well. Open defecation and other issues can also basically compound this problem. Now, if you look at the statistics from the international food chain, looking at the ASDA statistics, those are the countries which are well-developed countries, and they are not even basically worried about these organisms which causes the stunting. For example, Campylobacter jejuni, one of the commensal of the poultry, which live normally in the gut of the chicken, is one of the major problem in the West as well. 78% of the meat coming from the ASDA food chain carry that kind of a pathogen, and the less is the Tesco with a 64%. So you can imagine what would be the situation in Pakistan with reference to these bugs circulating in our environment through and entering into our body through food chain. Now, I would end with my talk with the message that for the politician, they should understand that not a single nutritional intervention approach can deal this problem. So in order to develop a holistic approach, all other conditions such as sanitation, improved environment, providing an improved environment in order to ameliorate or improve the gut health of a child is most important, and so that we can bring back all those children which are losing they're getting out of the school and dropping out of the school, and also to take care of a stunting population of the children. So with that, I would like to say thank you for everybody to listen.